What's going on, peoples? Today I've been called in here to diagnose this car. It's a 1997 Dodge Dakota with a 3.9 liter. Customer complaint, it's a crank and no start. So I came in here, battery was shot. So gave it a jump using my car. Gave it a crank to verify the customer complaint, and indeed, it's a crank and no start. So check for codes, didn't see any codes. The fan was on all the time, so I thought maybe, a computer issues. But when I got out there, I realized the fan had its own rig. It's like some aftermarket gizmo that they put on there. Has a box with a knob, so I just turned the knob, and for some reason it came off. So the fan went off. So now I was focused on trying to get some spark. First thing I did was to hook up my lab scope, and I had my ignition clamp right there, and I started it. I was just trying to crank it with this hooked up, and I didn't see any type of signal. So I realized I'm not having any type of spark going on there. So okay, we don't have spark. The first thing I think about is, of course, do we have a crank signal? So I came back here, hooked up my little OBD tool, code reader basically, slash my basic quick scan tool. And I was looking for, of course, RPM signal. No RPM signal. All right. So I went ahead and already I'm thinking the crankshaft sensor is bad. That's what I'm thinking. When I don't got no RPM signal, this is basically where I'm going. I'm focusing my energies there. So I went down and I removed the crankshaft sensor, just kind of doing a quick visual inspection. It looks like a Hall effect sensor, which means you should have a 5-volt reference voltage, a ground, and a signal wire. So the 5 volt is going to be the red wire, the ground is the black wire, and the signal is going to be the green wire. So once I've taken it out, looked over it, didn't seem like anything was jumping out. So I put it back together, and I realized there was a splice on the side of the engine, which I was trying to show. It's just very windy outside right now. I'm not going to be able to. You're not going to be able to hear me well, so I don't want to make it that kind of video. So anyway, once I got there, I hooked on my back probes using my scope, and it's still hooked on right now, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see much there. Right. So if it'll show anything that you can recognize, I'm going to go outside and try to show you. But I got the yellow trace on channel 1, which is going to be the signal. You got the purple trace, which is going to be the 5-volt reference, and you got the ground, which is going to be the blue trace. And if you see my RMS right there, you will see that I got 5 volt because right now the ignition was on. I'm going to turn it off. Let me turn it off and let things go. Okay, there you go. So now that the ignition is off, my channel number 1, which is the signal from the crankshaft sensor, is reading 100 millivolt. My ground is at 100 millivolt, and my 5-volt reference is at 5. What is it? 5.2. 5.2 basically, I believe. What is it? That's what it looks like. 5.2 millivolt. Right. This is with the car off. So now I'm switching the car on to the on position, and right away we have on the 5 volt, we have on the signal wire, and we got another 5 volt on the 5 reference, and you got 140 millivolt on the ground. So I'm going to go attempt to crank it just to prove a point, to see if the 5 volt reference is maintained, and to see if that 5 volts on the signal will start to go into square wave, because then the computer will command it to do that, right? Or at least what I'm saying, like it will send the signal that this actually working by basically sending a square wave signal. So let's try to crank it now. The 5 reference is good, the ground is good, but the signal stays high. It does not pulsate at all. So at this point I'm going to try to go towards a bad crankshaft sensor. I got the 5 volt is good, I got the ground is good, but I don't have no signal right there. So the signal stays high. To me, that's a bad sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one and put it on, and we'll see where we are. Let's go now and try the new one. I'm gonna show you how I get to the crankshaft sensor. Some people going from the top. Tried it, not the best method for me. So here I am on the side, and as you can see, or maybe not, let me just trying to give you a good visual there what's going on. Alright, that's the crankshaft sensor. That's the further bolt. I got my ratcheting wrench, electric ratcheting wrench right there on it. Just alright, take it from there, put it on the other bolt right there. You see that? Alright guys, so here we go. We're still not out of the woods. Let me bring this down. So that's the capture we just got. This is with the brand new crank sensor. Excuse me. Crank sensor is brand new. Now we can have a crank signal clearly here. I'm sorry. Let me just go. Yeah, that's not going to be good because the way I captured it is not the best. So that will be my fault. It's not going to come out right. But bottom line is, I got a crank signal. Okay. Granted, my time on the capture was not the best. You know, maybe I should have done it 200 milliseconds. But then again, the buffer, for some reason, I can't figure out how to. I mean, I can just, you know, I'm going to take a quick save of that. We'll come back and review that later. Now I'm going to capture basically just a video. I think that's a little bit better. Once I got it rolling, I'm gonna do a video, and we're gonna do another crank, and we're gonna look at the crank signal waveform right there. So recording. Let's go in the car and give it a whirl. Like I said, we have definitely made progress. Now I'm thinking the next thing we need to do is to go look at the camshaft sensor, which is going to be in the distributor. That might be the other issue we're going to have here. All right, so we're going to stop that. Let me see. Yeah, that's buffer. I don't know what is going on, but for some reason it's not saving my waveform like that. Let's go to video play. That should be my last video right there. All right, let's see what's going on. Was my time good enough? All right, look at that. Right? Yeah, so definitely got a decent waveform there, as you saw. All right, there goes your waveform for the crank. All right, guys. You know what, Simon? Just hold on a second. Do it for me one more time, please. I just want to see the thing on camera. Hold on 1 second. Let me set up. Go ahead. Let's not jump in the gap at all. Okay, cool. We have enough. We got enough. Let's not jump in the gap. So we definitely need another ignition coil. And this one we just bought about a month ago. The same issue before. She's a runner. Golly, boy. That was a trip. That's not now. This is just to test it out. So, yeah, finally it's working now. It's gonna run rough because all of the fuel, when we were cranking it this entire time and it wasn't igniting the fuel. That is no good right there. You see that? That tensioner? That's a little bit too much movement right there on a tensioner. Sell this truck, bro.
No, I want to sell it.
Yeah, no, it's too many aftermarket gizmos. No. It's gonna keep having some issues. I guarantee you. I'll just get rid of it.